Hello, Sensei Cisco here with Sensei Martial Arts for our second live stream this week. We did start a little early, waiting for us to pop up on the channel, wait for our live viewers to jump in. We were scheduled to begin at 5 o'clock, so if you'd like to, if you're seeing this in the future, feel free to skip ahead a little bit, as here, it's just going to be a little bit of dead space, maybe just be talking to the camera a bit. Now, so I guess I'll kind of bring up some things that are going on in my mind recently. One of the things is remembering your art. And I'm not just talking about martial arts, doing your training, doing your kicks and your punches and your push-ups and all that. While that is all very important, keep yourself physically fit, but you also want to nurture that spiritual fitness and create art. And I mentioned in the last video, I have a crafting table here. I like to create jewelry, like things out of chainmail, and I have a lot of fun with it. So some of the things I create are actually now stand right on top. Things like this necklace. I learned how to weave this, put a little crystal on the bottom, and this one's fairly simple. I have many others. I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I'm finding it very, very rewarding. It's a great stress relief for when training alone isn't doing it. I've been doing this for, well, martial arts for 30 years. And after a while, sometimes, especially when you make it a career, they kind of feel like work. And you're not so much training to relieve your stress as you're training to keep up with the job. So having an alternative source of creativity is very important for that spiritual well-being. Just to relax and make something that you want to make. Now, this could be through drawing, sketching, writing up your own comic book, writing a short story or full-on novel. This could be painting or sculpting. Grab a thing of Play-Doh and just start messing around with it. You can start to learn how to get different shapes and things out of that, and then move on to things like ceramic, working with putty that you can then throw into your oven to sort of kiln. Make sure you know your materials. Not all ceramics are made for that. Others need a more legitimate deep kiln. But exercising those creative muscles is a great way to relieve stress. And the less stressed you are, the more your body can relax and be loose for your training or when you need to use it. Self-defense scenarios and that sort. Looks like we do have somebody's jumped in the room. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get started here in about 1 minute. I'd like to make sure there's plenty of time for everyone to jump in, but I'm not going to sit here, talking the entire time. I say usually about 4 minutes from going live is more than enough, especially when folks have a timetable that they were told. So it's up to you to log in when it is time. If you're seeing this in the future, though, hey, you can jump ahead anytime you want. All right, and we are approaching the 4-minute mark. We will get started, and that's it. All right, if you're in your uniform, let's come to attention. Kyosuke! Us. Relax. Now, what we're going to be taking a look at the next half an hour or so are a continuation of our exercises, looking at the 3 major exercise groups that we've worked on before, being arms, core, and legs. We're doing some push-ups, some sit-ups, and some probably one-legged squats or lunges today. Mix it up a little bit from what we did the other day. After this, we'll do our stretches and then get into our Kihon drills. Now, the Kihon drills today will be at the more intermediate level. Think 6th, 7th Kyu or blue and green belts. If you are a basic student and just getting started, please don't click away, don't run away. Feel free to move along with us to the best of your ability. This is a great way to get a look at what's coming up in the future, and just take a little sneak peek. For those of you who are more advanced, that is a great review. Just like the more basic fundamentals, we want to go back and take a look at these intermediate things for footwork, for flow, and the more complex or weird kind of stances like Nikashirashi and Shuto Uchi. But without further ado, let's get warmed up. We're going to go with Tuesday, we did 50 jumping jacks. Today, I think we're going to go with 100. We're stepping it up. So let's count them out. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Yame. Hold right there. We're going to come back to that second 50. Something I'd like to mention, while you are doing your jumps, ensure that your knee is remaining above your foot. Meaning, if I'm jumping out, I'm not shooting the outsides. Here, my knees are tucked to the inside. This is going to put a lot of pressure on the outside of that ankle, which we don't want. So tuck those heels in so the knees can flex. And now you are pushing more from the toes together and apart. Almost think like you're jumping into a Shigachi stance without dropping down. Joint health is important. Second, keep your posture strong. Don't lean in, don't fall back. Try and keep your chin up and back. Your spine runs from the base of your head, base of your skull, all the way down to your tailbone. So keep that in alignment. Let's go, 50 more. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Yame. There's our second set. Fantastic. All right. I think we're going to keep that idea of 2 sets going throughout. So next up, we're going to move to our push-ups. But for this, just as I spoke last time, know your limits. If you're just starting off, feel free to do these on your knees. If you're able to do 20 or 30 knee push-ups, get those knees off the ground. If you're able to do 20 or 30 standard push-ups, get your feet up off the ground. Start elevating. This will add more and more weight to this exercise to push you to those next levels. All right, we're going to do 2 sets of 10. Let's set up. And ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Rest for a moment. Move that shishi over a little bit. And second set. Ready up. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sechi, hachi, kyu, ju. Excellent. Go ahead and let it rest. Deep, calming breaths. Breathe in slowly in through the nose and slowly from the mouth. Right, moving up, or I should say moving down into the core. Here we're going to go with V-ups. V-up, you want to kind of balance on your tail, touch your ankles. If you're not able to get there, go with a half V, tucking your knees in to touch your elbows. I like to even take my fingers, reach under my ankles, so my forearm and shin are flat together at that top point. Go 2 sets of 15. Ready? Itch. Knee. Sun. Shi. Keep your knees together. Go. Roko. Sichi. Hachi. Kyu. Ju. Ju itch. Ju knee. Ju sun. Ju shi. Ju go. And rest. I like to use the yoga dead man's pose here. Just let everything melt into the floor. All right, second set. Ready up. And itch. Knee. Sun. Shi. Go. Roku. Sichi. Hachi. Ku. Ju. Ju itch. Ju knee. Ju sun. Ju shi. Ju go. And rest once more. All right, let's come on up. Next, let's go with some squat lunges. So we are going to be doing some Nikkei Shashi to help us feel our weight and setting the ball of the foot. All right, hands are in the hips. You're going to step straight down the line and drop one knee to the floor before kicking back and switching to the opposite knee. We're going to go 20, 2 sets. Itch. Knee. Sun. Shi. Go. Roko. Sichi. Hachi. Ku. Ju. Halfway there. Itch. Juni. Jusan. Jushi. Jugo. Juroko. Sorry, Juroko. Jusichi. Juhachi. Juku. Niju. And rest a moment. Shake her loose. Now, there are many ways to do these lunges. I've seen some folks, some fitness professionals, instructors will say, take a large step. You're gonna really almost stretching the hip flexor here for each one. That's perfectly fine. Others I've seen say 2-step in a straight line. Also very good. These are going to work different muscle groups slightly differently. For Shorin-ryu, I tend to recommend taking a step out as though you're going to do a shikarachi. Allow your rear knee to drop in line with the heel about 1 fist's distance. This will help set that muscle memory for where to shoot your shikarachis for when you need to do shikarachi and Zenkutsu drills or basic shikarachi hip throws. Working in your Kihon into everyday activities, including the way you exercise, will help to train that muscle memory and lock it in as a natural part of your movement set. All right, that's plenty of time. Let's go with that second set. 20 more. Hands on the hips. Remember your posture. Don't sink in. Don't bend the back. Keep your back straight as we do this. And activate your core. Don't let your belly hang loose. Tuck it in. And itch. Knee. Sun. Sheet. Go. Roko. Sichi. Hachi. Ku. Ju. Feet together in the middle. Juich. Juni. Jusan. Jushi. Jugo. Juroko. Keep breathing. Jusichi. Juhachi. Juku. Niju. Excellent. And shake it out. Whew. I ought to wake you up. All right. Hope everyone's feeling pretty good. Let's move into a little stretch. Let's roll the neck. Keep it relaxed. And go for range of motion, not for speed. Reverse. I know I, for one, tend to feel it a lot more here because of our cell phones. Looking down all day puts a lot of strain on the back of the neck, shortens up the ligaments in the front. So giving one of these tall stretches here helps open up the front and prevents that sort of hunch neck lump you can get at the base of your C4, C3. All right, move the arms, big hugs. Up and down. Throw them back as far as you can. Looking to feel your shoulders all the way. Roll it. Reverse it. Twist it. Bop it. Pull it. That was a fun game. Down to the hips. Now, if you're too young to know bop it, talk to your parents. Well, I think bop-its might still be around. I don't know, I haven't seen one in a couple of years. They were real big when I was a kid. All right, down to the knees. Reverse. All right. And for our stretch today, we're going to do some pulses. So with each stretch, you're going to go to your range and then just bounce a couple inches in that area to kind of push like you're pulling a rubber band. You pick that up and you do a little draw, a little draw, a little draw, a little draw, and it gets more open. So feet together, looking at the hamstrings in the back, knees straight. Keep your back straight as well. Almost like you're going to lift your butt, lift your tail up in the air, and pulse. Ich, ni, sun, shi, go, roku, sichi, hachi, ku, ju. Open wide. Underneath your elbows. I like to think of these as I'm not pushing my nose or my head, I'm pushing my chest. Now take your solar plex, turn over, and bring your solar plex in, not your shoulders. So your chest should be further out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Come to the other side. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, ju. All right. Drop to one side and sit to that heel. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, ju. Other side. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, ju. Drop your knee. Pull the hip flexor, kind of drawing your hip to your heel, front heel. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, ju. Other side. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, ju. And come on up. Go with one more. Now for this, you can do it on the floor, but if you have a table or something that comes about the waist height, we're going to do a pigeon stretch, placing your foot on the table and then bowing over that foot. Kind of think stomach to your toe. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, ju. Go to the other side. And down. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, ju. And shake it loose. Bounce it out. Fix your belts if it's come off. And feeling good. Now here we are. Woo, halfway through. So we started about 5 minutes after. We're about 15 minutes in. So we're doing solid. Just like last one, we're going to alternate between the upper body and the lower body. We'll start with the uppers, holding Nikkō Ashidachi. If you haven't done this before, back knee is over the toe, front foot, toe, ball of foot is touching the ground. I'm sitting on the back leg. I should be able to lift that front leg up. When I shift, I'm going to drop the first leg parallel with the other, and then draw the heel in so I can rotate the hips. Heel out, heel in, heel out, heel in. That'll give me that switch of my weight. I'll start with a Chudan Shutoichi, or a high knife. Think of it like a outside block with a chamber in front of your solar plex, nice and flat, open palm on the other hand. When we shift, we're going to draw the hands in front like we're folding something over or flipping it. Fold to the chambers, touching the cheek and the hip, before turning at the elbows to extend. Fold opposite directions to touch the hip and the cheek, and flick. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, ku, ju. Good. Let's do 10 more. This time, as you're doing the drawback, think of that new high hand as it comes up, blocking a strike to the face. Something's coming at your nose, and we're using arms to push it aside and then slide down that same line. Ready? Ich, deflect, slide to the hip. Ni, deflect, and slide. San, shi, go, roku, Sichi, Hachi, Kyu, Ju. Shake it out. All right, let's go to our kicks. Now we're going to have our 3 sort of augmented or switch kicks. Or not switch kicks, but the ones that combine elements of the first 4 we did on Tuesday. These will be crescent kick, hook kick, and back kick. Let's start with crescent. Again, grab a target. Once again, return to my chiaishi. We're looking to touch that endpoint. On the crescent kick, as I come up, we want to use the flat of our foot to strike, meaning my knee is going to be out. So I can tap here. I'm looking at just tipping the top here. It'll come up, tip, draw to a sort of pivoted chamber or a tilted chamber before returning down. Tilt chamber to square chamber and down. Ready? 10 on each leg. Ich, ni, sun, shi, go, roko, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Other leg. Ich, ni, sun, shi, go, roko, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Good. Hook kick. For this, there are kind of a couple options. If you haven't done this before, think lift up to the corner and come back. Then tap with your toes before setting down. If you have done these before, take it from that pivot. So we're going to axe kick up, turn to a side, draw to a round chamber. The strike, normally with your heel. For the target, we can just use our toe. If you have a pad, feel free to use that heel. Follow through, strike that pad. But ready? Ich, ni, sun, shi, go, roko, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Switch feet. Ich, ni, sun, shi, go, roko, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Excellent. Last one will be a back kick. We're going through all 3 kicks on this run. Now a back kick, I'm going to sit, again, using that cat stance, but the light leg will lift up to a standard chamber, keeping the heel drawn in. I'll drop the knee, then press the heel straight back. You want this to kind of line up with your tailbone. So if you line your tail with that target, you should be able to contact with your heel. Pull those toes in tight. Right. Ready? Look over your shoulder. Use your peripheral vision, the corner of your eye, to find the target. Don't turn. If I turn, well, now it's just a side kick. I want to keep my posterior pointed. Ready? Ich, ni, sun, shi, go, roko, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Other side, look over the shoulder. It's one of the reasons why it's important to stretch your neck. Sit on the one leg so you can kick with the other. Ich, ni, sun, shi, go. Return your chamber. Roko, sichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Very good. And shake it out. All right, we're getting close to time. And I think, let me check our battery life. Yep, battery's already starting to yell at us. And I promise, I charge it, but there's not a plug on the side where I have to put it. So it had a full charge when we started, but I guess live streaming, it just sucks on batteries. But we're getting close. So if this cuts out like it did last time, my apologies. We work with what we got. All right, back to the cat stances. We did chewed on before. Now let's switch to gate on. For gate on, you have two options. You can either sweep and cut through, sweep and cut through. Think like a low block, you know, the sort of basic level. Step, sweep, and slide down. What we're going to do today is a little different. So we're going to go from thrust. We're going to draw to the hip chamber, knuckles touching, and then press forward. My lead hand is going to swing very similar, but rather than coming high to low, it's going to sweep low to low. Think a horizontal line at your midriff. The rear hand is going to thrust like a palm heel from the hip in. From here, palm down to palm up. This is almost like a shield or a cup for your groin. Ready? Itch, draw to the hip and thrust. Knee, draw to the hip and thrust. Sun, shi, go, roko, sichi, hachi, ku, ju. For my more advanced students, think about activating that hip. As we draw in, keep the hip cocked, and then throw and lunge. Let the hips lead you. Use your arms, use your strikes as whips, not as muscle brute force. Again, we're shooting to 20. Itch, knee, sun, shi, go, roko, sichi, hachi, ku, ju. And shake it out. All right, that is about our time. Hope everyone had a little bit of fun. Yeah, intermediate level, it's really just taking those basic level ideas, tying them together a little bit. We have that hook kick, starts as an axe, turns to a side, pulls to a round chamber. Different parts of other kicks to create a new variant. The crescent kick is like an axe kick also, but going in reverse. You take from the outside and pull in before setting to a square chamber. And the back kick is just a front kick that we let drop and push in reverse. So instead of pushing forward with the toes, we're going to push back with the heel. Basic things, basic fundamental techniques with a little twist. And everything going into the advanced ranks are the same. We just take things we learned before, put a little twist on them, make a little change, and it becomes something new, different, and really cool. But the computer is yelling at me, so this time I'd like to get the arigato out there with you. Let's come together. Kyotsuke. Arigato gozaimasu for coming and joining us today. Hope you had fun. Hope you got a good sweat, and I'll see you on the next one. Boop. Boop. Oh, did it end? Huh.